The moment LIV Golf stepped into the spotlight, it shook the entire golf world. From day one, chaos followed, and it still hasn't stopped. Everyone knew the PGA Tour would never peacefully live alongside LIV Golf. A clash was always coming, and it didn't take long for things to turn legal. Now, both sides have taken their fight to court, making this rivalry louder and more serious than ever. If you enjoy the untold stories and real drama in golf, make sure to subscribe to the Golf Mode TV channel. We bring you the inside details every week. Recently, LIV Golf suffered a major setback in this lawsuit. It was a hard hit that slowed their momentum. In this breakdown, we're explaining what happened, why it matters, and how this ruling shifts the pressure. The big question now is whether this PGA Tour versus LIV Golf fight can go on forever, or if we're finally seeing the beginning of the end. Right now, every court filing and every ruling carries huge weight. This battle goes back to 2019, when rumors started spreading about a new tour that wanted to challenge the PGA Tour. Things got messy fast. At first, it was called the Super Golf League, a quiet name that most people didn't notice, but the idea behind it was serious. PGA Tour Commissioner Jay Monahan responded quickly and made it clear that any golfer who joined a rival league would be banned from PGA Tour events. There was no middle option. By 2020, the Premier Golf League began talks with Saudi investors. These talks weren't about teaming up. The Saudis wanted to build their own league. They pushed the idea of bigger money, fewer events, and less weekly pressure for players. When the PGA Tour saw where this was heading, it joined forces with the European Tour. Together, they formed a strategic alliance to protect their power and keep control before the game changed too much. Pressure spread quickly through locker rooms and among fans. Once the PGA Tour realized a new league was offering massive paychecks, the battle lines were clear. In October 2021, the breakaway league officially became LIV Golf Investments, with GregNorman named CEO. That move made everything real and impossible to ignore. By 2023, LIV Golf showed progress. Events were running, and players were getting paid the huge money they were promised. But the journey was far from smooth. The Saudi-backed league faced heavy criticism, bad press, and strong pushback. That pressure grew even more after a recent court ruling that went against them. This legal fight centers on two connected cases. LIV Golf accused the PGA Tour of breaking antitrust laws and trying to shut them down completely. The PGA Tour fired back, saying LIV crossed legal lines behind the scenes and didn't operate as cleanly as claimed. LIV listed Saudi Arabia's public investment fund and its governor, Yasser Al-Rumayyan, as its only financial backers. PGA lawyers said the story didn't end there. According to the PGA Tour, the PIF and Yasser were actively involved in recruiting PGA Tour players to join LIV Golf. On the surface, that might seem normal, but in court, it's a serious issue. Legally, it can be seen as a breach of contract, and that became the main argument for PGA Tour lawyers. The case began in 2022, and for a while, LIV likely felt confident. That confidence took a hit in February 2023, when the judge dismissed both LIV Golf lawsuits. Even more damaging, the judge allowed the PGA Tour to officially add the PIF and Yasser as defendants. That decision raised the stakes and tightened pressure on LIV Golf quickly. This ruling changed everything. The court widened the case beyond simple tour rules. It turned into a global legal battle involving money, contracts, and power. The PGA Tour gained leverage, while LIV had to explain how deeply its financial backers were involved. That slowed momentum and raised serious questions across the sport. From the PGA Tour side, this felt like a clear win, at least for now. Their lawyers argue that LIV didn't just challenge the system, but crossed contract boundaries. The tour doubled down, showing they were ready for a long fight. Meanwhile, LIV had to juggle legal pressure while trying to look strong publicly. That balance is risky because perception matters almost as much as court rulings. Right now, the golf world is stuck watching two sides refuse to back down. LIV still runs events and pays players big money, but the legal cloud hangs over every shot. The PGA Tour plays a long game, trusting the courts to protect its control. This fight is no longer just about prize money or schedules. It's about power and who truly runs the sport. Judge Beth Labson Freeman's ruling marked LIV Golf's second legal loss in less than a week. Magistrate Judge Susan Van Keulen also ordered the PIF, which owns most of LIV Golf, to turn over documents related to the antitrust case. The PIF claimed sovereign immunity and tried to appeal, but the court rejected that move and kept the case alive. A major issue is LIV's claim that the PIF and Yasser were only investors. The PGA Tour disagreed, pointing to discovery documents that suggested they were deeply involved in recruiting players. That directly clashes with existing PGA Tour contracts and is where the fight really heats up. This battle isn't just happening in boardrooms. Players have been pulled into it too. Phil Mickelson is one of 11 golfers involved in legal action against the PGA Tour in North Carolina. At the same time, Judge Freeman ruled that key parts of the PGA Tour's amended complaint, including LIV's contracts and business plans, must stay sealed for now. All of this shows how deep the tension is between LIV Golf and the PGA Tour. What started as a flashy rival league has turned into a serious legal war with global money and reputations at risk. Every ruling shifts public opinion. LIV keeps pushing forward, but legal pressure slows everything down. The PGA Tour remains confident that stability will win over disruption. The judge also rejected LIV's attempt to hide details about Saudi involvement. The court said LIV's arguments overlapped too much to split the case. Documents from December 2022 suggested the PIF and Yasser personally approved player contracts, knowing they would clash with PGA Tour rules and lead to suspensions. That raised a major question about why those deals were approved in the first place. This ruling connects to long-standing claims that LIV Golf was part of a planned strategy linked to Saudi Arabia's Vision 2030. Critics pointed out Yasser's close ties to Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, adding more fuel to the debate. While GregNorman remained the public face, reports suggested real power sat elsewhere. LIV's legal team continues to argue that the PGA Tour abused its power to punish players and block competition. They say the tour acted like an independent body while stopping LIV players from entering major events. The PGA Tour responded by presenting text messages between Yasser and Bryson DeChambeau as proof of direct involvement. That message became a turning point. It blurred the line between investor and operator. In court, that distinction matters a lot. If leaders were directly guiding player moves, LIV's legal position weakens. LIV insists the PGA Tour is afraid of competition and change. Bigger payouts and fewer events were sold as progress. But the court wanted proof, not slogans. What looked like a golf rivalry turned into a serious legal grind where paperwork matters more than emotion. At this stage, the case is about control of professional golf itself. Players, fans, and sponsors are watching closely. One ruling could change everything. PGA Tour lawyer Elliot Peters summed it up by saying this wasn't how a government investor behaves, but how someone running a golf league behaves. Any profits or losses from LIV flow straight back to the PIF. LIV has been labeled by critics as sports washing, and Saudi Arabia's human rights record keeps this case under heavy scrutiny. That background continues to fuel backlash and pressure. The PGA Tour argues GregNorman is only the public-facing CO and that real control lies elsewhere. According to the Tour, even contract approvals and payments go through the PIF. With LIV Golf now taking two major legal hits, the future looks shaky for the breakaway league. If you enjoy untold golf drama and stories beyond the headlines, subscribe to Golf Mode TV. And if this breakdown helped you understand what's really happening behind the scenes, like the video and stay locked in for more deep dives and real golf controversy updates.